this year they were in news due to some other reason, but they were in news. Actually, while preparing, one of my friends, he suggested that since they were in news this time, we should just see something regarding that. And me and my friend, we checked some their dance forms and all. And one of those forms, exactly they asked that dance. I don't think many others might have answered it. I don't know. But since we correlated it with what was happening around us, that's the best thing you should do while studying culture. If there is some mention of any particular tribes in news or something, you should definitely see to that. Because even it was only for 1 or 2 marks, that question, but it gave me enough confidence to write all the paper, because it was exactly what I was expecting to see in the question paper. So regarding culture and all, you should try to correlate it with what is happening also, today. That will help you immensely.
About history, as Sir said, Modern India by Bipan Chandra is the best book. And if there are any Malayalis around, I would recommend to read the Malayalam version, which India Charitram, a DC book translation. The same book, and I think as Malayalis we are more comfortable with our mother tongue, and we can read it in Malayalam. You can actually read it like a novel. India Charitram by Bipan Chandra. And Polity, the Lakshmikant is the best book. Geography, you all have this paper, right?
No, they don't have. They only have syllabus part.
Okay. Geography, NCERT textbooks are enough for geography. I used to study only NCERT textbooks for geography.
Geography, you can see this Goching Leong. They have asked world geography.
Yes.
So Goching Leong is one good. Then NCERT fundamentals of physical geography. Then NCERT India and the environment. Then if you want, you can go for Fuller. I don't think it's required.
But I don't think it's required. This NCERT and Goching Leong, all those are pretty general. This Goching Leong is a very small book. It's very good to read also. So no need to go for other sources. Just NCERT and this Goching Leong is more than enough.
See, more than preparing this, practicing your answers is also important.
Yeah, the thing is that most of you who are preparing, you all know things. But the most important thing while writing the exam is how you present it. Like Albi said, we should just give the correct points. No need to put any superficial things. Just write the correct point that you know. Even if you know more things, that will be difficult. But you have to give the correct point while answering. It's the way of writing the answers that matters here in the limited time available. So you should always try to write exams and practice, write questions and practice. That is the best preparation for writing the exam.
Writing for this main exam, we also have that some tables to be filled with question numbers and question sheets. So how much time all these other formalities will take? Will it be within our 3 hours time frame, or will it be outside that? I wrote it after that.
Yeah, you can do it whatever way you like. It won't take much time.
What I'm asking is, will it eat away from our exam time of 3 hours, or will they give additional time for?
No additional time.
That is
But it doesn't take a long.
Because all these questions, there will be some for many papers there will be only 5 or 6 questions maybe for one paper. If they are after that, you need to put only the correct main question number. No need to put the subparts and all. If you do like that, you won't get enough space to answer in GS and all.
For example, one question will have A, B, C. So just write one. Don't write one dot A, one dot B, and all. And make sure that you're writing A, B, C in the same order after one. So don't write A somewhere and B somewhere, then you write A in page number 1. That will be confusing.
Morning, sir. Anisha. So as far as the preparation part is concerned, like you all said that answer writing is important. What you write about 3 hours. So when you're actually preparing, like you're reading the newspaper, you're reading the NCERT, is note making important? Like you told about reading the basics, studying the basics. So like what you produce in those 3 hours, mock papers and etc. will be helpful towards the end. But actually when you're going through the facts or something, is there anything apart from just reading? Is there anything extra that you need to do, like note making or something that will be helpful towards the end. Something towards the answer writing.
See, more important than sitting and reading, I guess, sitting together and reading or sitting together and discussing is very important. It is a very important part of preparation. It has been the same for all three of us, all of my friends as well. Sitting alone and studying, I don't think it is going to be very effective for this exam. Because like Anil said before, especially for GS, optional is fine, no problem. Only one option this time, only 500 marks you can get through. But the GS paper especially, like Anil said, they ask more for ideas and opinions, not facts and figures. You understand? So, it is easy to mug up facts and figures and dates and all those things sitting alone. But to develop ideas, to develop opinions about certain issues, and it is always two minds think more than one, no? So it is always better to get two sides of the story before you decide on how to exactly present the answer. You understand? It is not only about writing your opinion. You may be an extremist, you may be leftist or extreme rightist or whatever. Your political orientation may be different from the person who is correcting the paper. So you need to develop a very neutral idea about each and every issue. And you need to write what they want to see, what they want to hear, what they want to read. You don't have to exactly write what you think about it. You understand? So in order to develop a very mature and balanced opinion about all these issues, it is very important that you sit along with friends and discuss issues in the first place, especially in topics like international relations, economics. You understand? Those are the areas where you can get into a lot of controversy answering questions.
Nowadays they are asking questions like you should analyze whatever they are asking us to analyze some particular topic.
Even if they are asking of history, they never ask you when this happened or who are the people involved or from what time to what time. They ask you about the economic and social impact of that movement. For example, the Quit India movement. Tell us about the long-term impact that the movement had on the eventual attainment of freedom. You understand? So you need to give your opinion. So there are many people who critically look at it and say that it was a failure and this and that. You understand? But you need to write what they want to hear. You need to be very neutral.
You will need different opinions. You can't just simply write our single opinion.
Because
you should have different angles to that. That you can get by discussion with others.
Suppose the group studies is not happening. If you don't have the chance of studying with friends or something, if you like studying single, like that's what is my case.
You ensure that you make friends. There's no other way to go about doing that. Ensure that you do it. No, I mean, you're working right now.
No, I'm not.
You're not working on. What do you do other than study?
Nothing.
No, that is the problem. You don't do Facebook, I guess.
No.
You don't do Facebook.
No.
Get into Facebook. No, seriously. I mean, it will help a lot. I'm not joking. It may sound like a joke, but ensure that you get a good group of friends because there are so many people sitting here. Ensure that you get in touch with them.
When you are in a group, the area of expertise of all these individuals. That
yes.
Is okay.
For example, when we were studying, one of our friends was so strong in history that we never used to read history. History was small when we were writing the exam. Only India's freedom struggle. So we never used to read history. He used to tell us the whole freedom struggle in one day. We used to sit in the morning, by evening we used to finish history. And twice or thrice doing that, 3 days from your 3 or 4 month preparation goes to history. History is done. So that is the kind of help that group study can give you. So if you are not yet into group studies and if you are not interested, doesn't matter. Ensure that you still do it. Get a group of friends. That is very useful.
So this analysis part is actually a problem because by the time you read and remember the facts, you think about just the facts only, and the question
Exactly.
is probably not like that.
Yes.
So reading the
That is
facts
exactly what we were saying this whole time.
By one person is actually difficult. So that's what I was asking, how to assimilate all the things together and.
So that is exactly what we were saying. You understand? Sitting alone, you'll like you said, you'll just mug up the facts. You'll remember everything from Indian history. No point. They'll ask you about the impact. What did you write? In 1947 this happened, 50 this happened, 60 this happened. No point. What is the impact that it created? No, you don't know. You understand? So sit together with friends. One extra person will do. Don't feel that you need 10 or 20 people. Okay. The more the number of people, the better. But Find at least one person you can sit and discuss with. That is very, very important. If you are not used to doing it, get used to it, seriously.
And another thing about group study is that you can actually study for long hours. I mean, yes, you don't get bored, and you can study for some 10 or 12 hours when you are studying with a good friend of you. I mean, that difference between when you are studying and when is your leisure time, that won't be there. I mean, like you can study for long. I mean, like everyone who got into the service this year, I guess all of them have used this combined study strategy, and that is very fruitful. Okay, if you can do it, please do it.
Hi, I'm Rohit Nanduma. I would like to add to this question by presenting a scenario. See, what I want to ask is a case like, when you get an essay, see if it is about the inter-China relationship. So it's a very delicate relationship. So what I would like to say, if you read a newspaper like Hindu, the view you get is that, for example, there was an article in Frontline that argued that during Nehruvian times, the integrity of borders of Aksai were not really as India argues. So it's a situation where everyone, as per our constitution, our sovereignty is undebatable. So how do you approach a question like that? So should we present both views, or should that it should be solved through mutual negotiations where it is possible? Another topic is like death penalty. The constitution says it should be awarded in the rarest cases, but there are a lot of people who argue that most countries, like European, have already abolished. So what view is this?
Death penalty, what is your opinion?
So my opinion is that should be abolished.
You can write your opinion.
But the thing is that you should substantiate them.
Yes, I mean it should be balanced. The answer should be balanced. You should see to the other point of view, and you should see what are the pros and cons of both these views, and you should get into a conclusion. The conclusion can be yours. It needn't be what should be what is in the mind of the question maker
The examiner
or
should
the
feel that
examiner.
you have analyzed all the angles.
That analyzing capability, no. I mean, like you are seeing all the angles and you are taking a decision to go for it or not to go
You
for
know
it. That is
what is
okay.
right, what is wrong.
Yes.
But your opinion is this one because you think it is this way. But they should feel that you have seen the other side also.
Yes, precisely.
So you should present both views and reach a
Yes,
conclusion.
yes. And for civil service aspirants, I would say this: please don't read Frontline. Yes. You don't read. Yes. Please don't read Frontline.
Even if you read Frontline, read other magazines also.
And Frontline is unnecessary for civil services. I haven't read Frontline. I used to read Frontline before I started preparations, but during my preparation, the last 8 months, I haven't read Frontline because I couldn't get the time. But I would say this: don't read Frontline. It is too extremist. And the other thing is, we don't want that chunk of information. We don't want that much information.
For essay, you can just read an article and see how they have presented their views. That may help you in essay, but don't give too much emphasis on that content. Just give emphasis on the way of their presentation. Regarding that, Frontline is very good.
You can actually read Hindu newspaper. Hindu has its own views and it is lean to the left, but it is okay. I mean, like no other newspaper, no other national newspaper covers all these issues with enough attention. So we can actually read Hindu, but at the same time, especially in Kerala, okay. But at the same time, never get into the shoes and think like what the Hindu reporter is saying. Just identify the facts and get into your own conclusion.
Something related to the same thing. I mean, slight changes in the question terms used, no? Something like discuss, critically examine, critically evaluate. So, just to confirm, what we said now, just like discussing about two sides of it and arriving at a conclusion. But that changes with that term that is used, right? I mean, sometimes people say we have to give much of an emphasis to that term. If it is this term, you have to write like this. If it is this term, the same. What do you think?
I don't think there is much of it.
Yes.
Thing is that you should understand what they have asked in that question.
Yes.
Sometimes if we read a question, we will feel that in first reading we will feel that it's one thing. But if we do one more reading, we will understand that it is asking different things. Say, they are asking you to just critically analyze, you only need to analyze it. But if they are asking your opinion regarding a thing, you should give an opinion. Analysis is not enough. So you should see that difference. Most important thing is, especially in I think I will say that this is more important for prelims. You should fully read the question and answer, because you might have seen, those who have seen the prelims question paper, you will understand that in the first reading we will feel that one of these answers is correct. But if you read analyze the question more clearly, you will see that it is not the answer. So their questions will be like that only. You should read that question first. But it's not exactly the case in mains. There the questions are more general. You don't have a single word answer for that. So you can take more liberty with that.
I guess I was referring to that article in Civil Service Chronicle where they said all these questions discuss, elucidate, critically analyze. What are the other terms?
Actually, there are around 30 terms or something they have given as a list, and they have said like this means this. So if you answer like this, so that is sometimes I doubt about magazine. Reading magazine also sometimes clutters your mind.
But I don't know about all these 30 terms, but when we are told to critically analyze something, we can go a little critical about it. Okay. The other all other terms I didn't consider much while writing the exam, and I have a decent GS score, so I guess that does not matter much. But when we are asked to critically analyze something, we can go for the negative points and get into a conclusion. And writing every question, each and every question, you can analyze both the views, get into a conclusion, and just get into a conclusion. I mean, that could be the best strategy to write a 20 mark in civil service mains.
So one of the things regarding this, if they are asking, for example, a question from science, let us say genetically modified crops, they will be asking us to analyze the impact. If you write all you know about genetically modified crops, technicalities, you won't get any marks. Yes. But when we are writing the exam, we will think that we know all about this. We are writing the correct answer. But in the question, they might be asking what is the impact, or how is it sustainable, that or all that things. In that case, if you write all the technicalities, you won't get any marks.
That is also very important. Yes.
That's the importance of all these terms they are telling.
Yes. Answer to the question. Last time there was a question: the impact of Curiosity rover. I mean, you won't get any marks for writing all about Curiosity rover, its launching, its landing, and everything. What I asked specifically was, what is the impact? What could it result in? I mean, that is a question, and we have to answer that. Before that, we can just add a point like that Curiosity was so and so, and it was landed on just one sentence. Yes.
Again, same kind of question. The last year's question there was something like define innovation. And then one more additional question analyzing that. So when these define kind of things come, is it necessary that we should go for any textbook kind of definition, or can we just write our definition, our understanding of that from any of the definitions that we have learned?
If you know a textbook definition, write it. I wrote this question. I didn't know the definition, so I made up once myself. I mean, I guess that fetched me more.
Especially this GS test is a very generalistic test. So if you don't know the
definitions, does not matter. Like when they ask for definitions, they just want to know, have you understood what this talks about? That is it. Okay.
In these opinion-based questions, if, as you said, it should be neutral, but if we can, if we have an answer, either left or right, but an extreme idea to put, if we do it and if we can actually substantiate it, do you think it is better to write such a thing, or do you think it still should always be neutral as is possible?
I wouldn't recommend that. I mean, like any extremist view can be put decently into paper, you just have to ignore the others. Okay. Any extremist view, like even fascism, can be decently put into paper and you can substantiate it. Okay. But UPSC is looking for officers, ground level officers who are able to manage situations. And while managing situations, the neutrality, that clarity of thought and neutrality in taking decisions, that is important. So neutrality is a trait they are looking for. But being neutral does not say that like you are writing all this pros and cons for each and every answer, and at the end, okay, considering both A and B, we think that the optimum decision is between A and B, and that is C. I mean, that is not what neutrality is. Don't be extremist. Okay. I mean, I don't think the services need extremist kind of people. Okay, so just being neutral means like what?
There is one more thing that you need to be very careful of, because people preparing for civil services, especially people preparing for a long time, probably more than a year, 2 years, 3 years, there are people who sit and prepare, they tend to get carried away. You understand? This actually gets into their mind, and you have to understand that this is just an exam. Okay, this is not an area, this is not a venue for you to express your ideas, not a venue for you to prove yourself, or they are not going to pick you based on the quality of your answers, only based on the marks. You understand? No, it is never going to come out that this guy had answered that history question very well, or that is not going to come in the paper. You understand? So whatever you write, anything you write, you ensure that you get through the exam. This is just another exam, and any person here sitting here who's giving it more weightage than that, who's thinking that this has become my life and my ultimate destination, my final goal and all those things, that is just crap. Get that thing out of your mind first, and don't allow this thing to get into your mind, especially reading the Hindu and things like Frontline. These things can screw you up, seriously, big time. So ensure that you don't get into it. While writing your answers, ensure that you have this thing clearly in your mind that this is just an exam. The person sitting there, you have to please that person. He has a couple of value points. I mean, he has an answer key with him. Whoever is correcting the paper, he is not the great critic who is writing articles in Hindu, sitting and correcting your paper. You understand? So he's just some +2 teacher or some teacher teaching in college, and he has been given an answer key, and he has been given your answer paper. He just looks at the answer key, he identifies your point. He has some logic. You write a point and it is slightly different from the answer key, still he can give you marks. That is another thing. It is not a multiple choice answer, but still, it is actually structured. You just need to write things that they can relate to. You understand? Don't write extremist things. Don't allow these things to get into your mind. This is not the venue for you will get chance later in your life. Once you get through the exam, then the whole life ahead of you is for such things. You understand? So first ensure that you write this as an exam, get through, and then you can do such things. Okay?
It is not about pleasing the examiner. Okay, the exam is designed for that purpose. I mean, like to get officers who can execute it at the very ground level. Okay, they don't need cynics. I mean, the system does not need cynics. So don't be cynical in your answers. Okay.
One more thing, might sound funny, but how big a role does handwriting play? Because I have a horrible one.
This man sitting here right next to me, he himself cannot read his handwriting.
See, in my school days, my science teacher, he was not able to read my answers. So every time after the exam, she will bring the answer in front of the whole class and ask me to evaluate it myself. I used to do that, but